Hey, how's it going? In this video, I'm going to be talking about scaling and what that is. Scaling can refer to various concepts in a different context, but generally involves the process of increasing or decreasing the size, capacity, or scope of something to meet certain objectives or requirements. Let me share some other examples. Business and economics, scaling a business. In the business world, scaling often refers to the process of growing a company's operations, revenue, and market presence. This can involve expanding into new markets, increasing product capacity, or developing new products or services to accommodate a larger customer base. Economies of scale. In economies, scaling refers to cost advancements that a company can achieve as it increases its production levels. This concept suggests that as production quantities increase, the cost per unit of production tends to decrease, leading to greater efficiency and profitability. The scaling in computing, overall technology. In the context of technology and computing, scaling often refers to the ability of the system or application to handle an increased workload of user base. It can involve adding more services, resources, or infrastructure to ensure that the system can perform well under higher demand. Scaling in data analysis. Data scaling is processing techniques in data analysis and machine learning where normalize or standardize the numerical value in dataset to make them comparable or to improve the performance of algorithms. Physics and engineering scaling laws. In physics and engineering, scaling laws are mathematical relationships that describe how certain properties of physical systems change as a function of size, time, or other variables. These laws help scientists and engineers understand the behavior of systems at different scales. In terms of business, if you got an idea and you working towards bringing that idea into the market, I have shared this information already, but if you would perhaps take a look at technology readiness level, and if you would begin to general testing and overall performance, then you would move towards perhaps different stages until you believe that your business model can perhaps begin off implementation and testing process where you would need to test your model of your business. Would that be something perhaps industry businesses like a McDonald's, where you would begin with this small scale, perhaps one restaurant, and you would like to test this restaurant and systems within that restaurant, and if it would work and how efficient and effective that systems can be. From there, if those systems can be implemented on large scale, then perhaps those systems will be way better compared to anything else within the market, then you can create a lot of value for a number of people. Those systems that you are potentially working on or developing need to be way better to compare to you perhaps existing what's already in existence within the market, or and as well as different things that you need to do with those systems, perhaps stress test it that those systems would work and do not break, especially if you would, we're using the same example as a McDonald's. You know, if how many clients would that restaurant would be able to serve, and how fast they can actually perform some of the responsibilities, and how optimized the area in where they perhaps making food, and if there are any changes required to be made within that area, and if you made changes within one area, how you gonna scale the same systems to across all the restaurants within McDonald's, and how often you would make those changes. That's just one of the ways to think about it. I'm thinking about it all the time. I don't know if that might come as a news to some of the people of how to think about business and how to build businesses. Some of the areas to think about. I can go a little bit more in the detail deeper with some of the concepts I'll share in a minute. But just to keep some things in mind, you would be or you need to think about how you're gonna start. When you're starting, you need to know how you're gonna finish. At least have some idea how you begin and your exit strategy. Since we're focusing a lot on a strategy, you need to begin with the end in mind. That's the idea. So once you start building a system, so once you start building those, you need to be able to step away, and those systems need to be working without you involvement ideally. Then you can actually you do have something, and you would be able to take this something and you show it to somebody else, or perhaps sell it if you're interested in doing that down the line. You can push some of the business models so far that might be too stressful or too much for you, and perhaps different infrastructures would be able to purchase those business models from you. I don't know if it's too much. Perhaps I should use some more examples to explain that. Perhaps if you're developing a software, and some of those software could be communication software, perhaps different infrastructures might be interested in your software. Would that be perhaps some of the major companies would be Facebook acquiring WhatsApp as a software, right? So perhaps Facebook has the right infrastructure, and WhatsApp was perhaps user data, or for whatever reason, Facebook decided that they want to acquire WhatsApp as well to implement into already existing infrastructure. So that would be perhaps WhatsApp's exit strategy, like how they do have a system. One of those ways how you can exit your business if that's something you are interested in doing down the line, at least have that option. One of those areas would be franchising. I have done a lot of research already. Perhaps in the future, I'm interested in having a franchise, as well as it might be easier to receive finance from different sources to actually have access to finance and purchase a franchise compared to different business models. So that business model is already working. You don't need to work too much or tingle with any of the systems. Those systems in the ideally are working, and you would need to perhaps just own the franchise, not necessarily build the system itself. Ideally, you shouldn't do nothing with the system, or perhaps let it run and own the perhaps the building, physical building, and hire people and manage already existing system. That's a good place to begin until you start understanding a little bit better business and how to work with different businesses. Franchise is just one of the business model that you might be interested in. A lot of technology companies and how easy it is to scale some of those systems just by having an apps and overall software. One of the easiest way how you can build once, and from there you just need to acquire a lot of customers and users, and very easy to scale systems compared to perhaps physical buildings limited to their location. Definitely, there's a lot of opportunities there, and overall rise of e-commerce platforms and different business models there. I would definitely recommend everyone who building something or some of the business and have the online presence. E-commerce is just one of those ways how to do it. Having online market space and doing that, yeah. I have published a book. Name of the book is Game Strategy. I'm sharing a lot of information in the book about what you need to know before and after you launch your first business. I have done so much research within the industry, and for anyone who would like to find out more of what you need to know, as well as breaking down very complex concepts within the book, making those concepts easier to understand, especially for anyone who perhaps who are interested in overall games and using games as a way to explain very complex ideas. You can find more information in the description below under this video. You can follow the link to my company's website, as well as you can find this book on the top retailers. Thank you. Overall scaling, you need to be able to scale your business. You have that mindset right from the beginning of whatever you would be interested in doing, whatever product or services your business is going to be creating and offering. You need to be able to scale it and have that mindset. And before getting stuck, uh, you not necessarily would be able to scale your time and your resources, but you need to be smart about it and what kind of actions you will be able to scale. And I don't want to go too much about it since I talked about a lot in this video already. But overall, if you have any questions, if you like to ask me something, or you would like to share some information yourself, or you are just interested perhaps bouncing around some ideas of how we can work together, feel free to reach out to me. Thanks for watching and see you next one.